contest. The Cowboys have dominated for 2 decades, but last year the Giants won 2. The Cowboys think that they played a principal role in knocking them out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. We will not promise you a thing of cosmetic beauty because these two teams don't play that way. They dominate on defense. That is the way they have started the season. We expect that tonight. But there will be some hitting tonight. And, Joe, these are 2 of the... Thus far in the season, the Giants #1 in the National League, and, of course, the Cowboys #2 in the conference.
That's right, Frank. That's why I look for a low-scoring game. Coach Bill Parcells this week told me that this Dallas defense, well, they bring everyone, both safeties at times, all the linebackers. He said every play looks like a jailbreak. Well, what the Giants are going to try and do is come up with the big play, go way downfield to beat the blitz, try and score a touchdown. But it's going to be tough because their best offensive player, Zeke Moat, isn't with the Giants. He's on injured reserve. And Ernest Gray, their top receiver, still isn't with the team. Defensively, well, the Giants have got their hands full because O.J. Tony Dorsett is off to a good start this season.
Yes, Tony was hot last week. He had 159 yards, and you heard him say during our halftime show last week that he thought the best way to handle this Giant team is to run at Lawrence Taylor. Well, we'll see about that. As far as the Giants' offense is concerned, what they have to do is gamble on first down while the Cowboys are playing that 4 flex defense. And on second down, if it's 2nd and 10, be conservative. Run the ball. Do whatever you have to do to stay away from 3rd and 10 or more, because that's when this Cowboy defense is at its toughest. Frank, that's just about the way I see it.
All right, this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Dodge, a performance revolution, an American revolution. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. And by GTE, we can do business with your business. A sellout crowd, 76,000 plus. The Giants will receive to our left. Down there is number 80, Phil McConkey. Raphael Septien is on to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys. It will be a noisy crowd. Giants fans have come to totally dislike the Dallas Cowboys, and of course that is the reverse when the Giants travel to Dallas. McConkey. And McConkey out over the 20-yard line to the 23-yard line where it will be first down, and out comes Phil Simms, who had a tremendous year a year ago. Does not pass for high percentage, but the Giants do like to go deep on many occasions. He has been a very cool quarterback. Got through a season a year ago without an injury. Passed for over 4,000 yards, the best a Giant has ever done. That has included great quarterbacks, Wyatt Tittle, Charlie Connolly. An offensive line, very capable and well-rounded wide receivers in the unit for the Giants offensively. Simms is back. Fires it out. Number 86 is out there. That's Lionel Manuel. Manuel has a first down. He's out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. He, Joe, perhaps the best of the wide receivers.
He definitely is the best of wide receivers. Coach Parcells is really high on him. Now, because the Cowboys blitz so much, they use a lot of man-to-man coverage, and Phil Simms is going to try and take advantages of this just as he did now.
Missing was Jeff Rohr, number 50, and Manuel picks up the first down at the 40-yard line. Byron Williams is in now, number 87. At wide receiver, the setbacks, Rob Carpenter and Joe Morris. Ball is lost by Morris. And the Cowboys are saying they have it. And they do. Coming up with it, Mike Hagman, the 10-year veteran linebacker. Joe Morris never had control of that ball on the handoff from Phil Simms. Let's take a look at it. You'll see it better from the reverse angle.
Well, you'll take a look at this. Normally when the back, it's the quarterback's responsibility to get the ball to the running back. That did look like a good handoff by the quarterback, but sometimes they'll get it high on the shoulder pad.
The Cowboys, who had so many turnovers against Houston a week ago, 12 quarterback sacks. They have the football back. They're inside the Giants' 45-yard line near the 43. Danny White is the quarterback. This is Tony Dorsett. Pursued and chased out of bounds. Cornerback Elvis Patterson there defensively. Let's meet the Cowboys offensive unit. Danny White once again running things for the Cowboys for the year. A little over 54%, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last week. 16 of 32 and a couple of TDs and a win over Houston. Tony Dorsett will be back there in a single setback, and when they come in with 2 because of the injury to Timmy Newsome, James Jones, number 23, will join Dorsett. The wide receivers are Renfro, number 82, Tony Hill, number 80, the tight end, a good one, Doug Crosby. It's second down and 7. The ball near the 40-yard line. Cornwell now is in at tight end, number 85. White has a man wide open, and Renfro splits the zone right in the middle, comes down with the ball, first down near the 25-yard line. 15-yard pickup. Kenny Hill, recently activated, made the stop for the Giants.
Well, Gary Reason's number 55 gets caught up with the play action fake. You see right here in the middle of the screen, he didn't get back into his coverage, which is this area right here. It was a zone defense, but Reasons was fooled by the play action fake.
John Williams is in at setback now for the Giants, number 38. Recently completed a couple of years in the USFL. They like him a lot down in Dallas. Cowboys, the first down at the Giants' 25-yard line. This is John Williams. They call him a power runner. He powers for about a yard, and that's it. It'll be second down and 9. And let's take a look at the Giants' defense. Number 1 in the NFL. Leonard Marshall led the NFL through 4 games with 7.5 sacks. Great linebacking in the middle with Harry Carson, and of course the already legendary Lawrence Taylor on the outside. Elvis Patterson is trying to fill big shoes. All-Pro Mark Haynes has not reported to the Giants. Contract negotiations with Haynes broke off once again last week. Second down and 9. Danny White looks it over. Jones is in now with Dorsett. Pressure on White, but he whips it out to Jones. And Jones, who was a good receiver, he proved that last week with a key reception that kept a winning touchdown drive alive late in that game. Short of the first down by a couple, as Elvis Patterson was there defensively.
Yeah, Elvis was there defensively, but what he did that last time was followed Mike Renfro into the secondary, and he left that short zone area open out to the outside. That's why they had a completion. You know, these defenses, they're both good defenses, but they're different defenses. Dallas runs a lot of blitzes. The Giants a lot of zone coverages without the blitzes.
Third down and 3 from the shotgun. The Cowboys have had a tough time getting it into the end zone from in close. Danny White rifles one, gets it across the middle, gets it in there to his wide receiver, Mike Renfro, and Renfro will have the yardage for the first down near the 11-yard line. Mike Renfro, who came to the Cowboys a year ago to take up the slack with the retirement of Drew Pearson after being injured in an automobile accident, played so many years for the Houston Oilers. And there is Tom Landry, now in his 26th year and tied with Don Shula as the second winningest coach in the history of this game. Don Shula with a win today over Pittsburgh, the Miami Dolphins. They're tied at 246 wins. Fumble, and the ball is loose. That was Dorsett being able to cover his own fumble just about the line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look at it. I think the pitch is somewhat low. I think Tony still should have been able to handle that pitch. He kicked it with his knee. It's too bad because they had good blocking in front, and I think Tony had room to run.
It'll be second down and about 12. Was a loss of a couple. George Martin comes in. He's the pass rushing specialist for the Giants. He'll be up at the top of your screen, number 75. Curtis McGriff checks out. Danny White looks it over. Pressure on White, and White will go down. Carl Banks, the second-year former first-round draft pick out of Michigan State, was there for the Giants, and the loss is all the way back near the 18-yard line.
That's the second time I saw the Cowboys keep Tony Dorsett in the backfield. One time to block Lawrence Taylor, and this time to block Carl Banks. Now, Tony is a competitive ball player, but the Cowboys aren't going to move the ball too well tonight if they're going to leave Tony in there to block Taylor and Banks.
Well, you know, that's part of the Giants' philosophy. When they do bring a linebacker, they would love to get a running back trying to pass protect on him.
Carl Poe comes in, wide receiver, rookie from Alabama State, number 81. The Cowboys very high on this youngster. He joins Tony Hill outside with Mike Renfro. You have to watch Doug Crosby down here, however, the big tight end. Looks on again, White chased out of the pocket. Back of the end zone, all alone, Tony Hill. Back of the end zone, Tony Hill able to stay in bounds. Danny White had brought the defense up with a roll to the right, and Tony was there all alone.
But Danny White certainly did the job here. He bought the time by running right. He was trapped back there and found the open receiver. Just a good play on Danny's part and a good play on Tony's part.
Good concentration by Hill. Comes down with the touchdown, and the Cowboys are out in front. Early going in the first quarter. Raphael Septien on for the conversion. The drive is starting with a Giants fumble. Joe Morris near the 44-yard line of the Giants. And the Cowboys convert the turnover. They lead 7-0 as Tony Hill, with his 44th career touchdown, puts the Cowboys out front. All-time receiver, and has led the Cowboys in receptions for ever so many years. Scored from 18 yards out. Deep for the Giants is Phil McConkey, second-year Navy man with quite a story, and we'll get to a little later on. Raphael Septien puts it. McConkey takes it at the 5-yard line. Big opening. And McConkey out to the 48-yard line. Finally upset there by Dennis Thurman. But McConkey gets his first long return of a kickoff this season.
You'll see the Giants have what we call a right return on, and all the guys got over there, got a real nice wedge. McConkey just picks his way through.
He does what you have to do returning kickoffs. You run with abandon. You have to sacrifice your body. The hole sometimes is just there for a split second, and you really get pounded. The Giants, 1st and 10, the ball near their 48-yard line. Carpenter will try it outside left. Try is about it. As he's dropped, sliding out there, Jeff Rohr, who replaced Anthony Dickerson, who had occupied that spot for several years, traded at the end of the preseason to Buffalo. Jeff Rohr, a Yaley, very bright and has been very effective. They had thought that a young rookie from Virginia Tech, Jesse Penn, might replace Rohr at the right side, but Rohr has played well, according to Dallas. George Adams, a rookie first-round draft pick, number 33 for the Giants, checks in as a setback. He joins Bob Carpenter. It's 2nd down and 7. Sims with a lot of time and fires it over the middle, and he gets it to the tight end, Bavaro, the rookie from Notre Dame, who scored his first touchdown a week ago, and the Giants move it to the 31-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys on an 18-yard pickup.
Well, Bavaro released to the outside, and he just made a good move on Michael Downs and left him to the outside, beat him to the inside. He's wide open. This was supposed to be a man coverage. Excuse me, that's Clinksdale.
Downs back to make the stop at the 31-yard line. And out to the left goes Bobby Johnson. To the right, Lionel Manuel. First down and 10. 10 with a little bit of a play action. Tries to hold the backs, and he fires, and it's complete to Manuel. And Manuel will have a Giant first down. He's near the 11-yard line. Perhaps the best of these outside receivers, Lionel Manuel. He puts on some pretty good moves. He'll be working as we pick up the action against Everson Walls. He'll give you a good move to the inside. He even looked to the inside, and you could see that he turned Everson Walls all the way around. Now, Walls is a great man-for-man defender, but when you get turned around, you're going to get beat, and the Giants get a first down. Near the 12-yard line. Adams stays in, a setback. Carthen, number 44, is in there at setback for the Giants. And the rookie from Kentucky spins and twists down to the 7-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards. George Adams has had some tough sledding in the first game of the season against Philadelphia. He fumbled the ball in close inside the 5-yard line. Last week against Philadelphia, he gave up another Giants touchdown on a fumble inside the 5-yard line. But they know from his history, he is not a fumbler, a good, strong, solid running back, number 1 draft pick from Kentucky. He got 6 out of that, close to the 7-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Adams will work again to the 6-yard line.
I think they came back to that play because George Adams feels that he should have scored on the play before. He just evidently just came to the game. He wasn't loose, and he ran into the back of his blocker, and if he would have had his head up, he could have stepped to his right and scored on the play.
You saw him shaking his head after the first attempt. They came right back with him. The Cowboys shut it off. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Carpenter comes into the backfield. Carthen is out. Carpenter, a bit of a better receiver, out of the backfield. Bobby Johnson goes left. Manuel is to the right. The tight end is Bavaro on the passing down. Down, showing blitz, and they pick it up. Sims, the pressure, and finally has to throw it away. They picked up downs. He came right through the middle. Carpenter was able to pick him up, but Jeff Rohr closed in on Sims.
What surprised me that time is they brought Carpenter in. Tony Galbraith is one of the best receivers of all time coming out of that backfield, and this is his forte, a third down play, O.J. Why wouldn't they bring in Galbraith?
Well, maybe they want to use him in the open field. All I am doing is speculating. But I like the game plan of the Giants at this point. They're throwing on first down.
Yeah, I'm surprised both teams have moved the ball so well. These defenses are really good defenses, but looks like the offenses are getting up for this game.
Atkinson is on for the field goal attempt from 23 yards. He missed one last week from the same distance. He does not miss this one, however. And the young rookie from Maryland, who has replaced an injured Ali Haji Sheikh, puts the Giants on the scoreboard. We're in the first quarter, 7:49 remaining. Rutherford, New Jersey, here in the first quarter, and Cowboys leading the Giants 7-3. Both of these teams tied at 3-1, along with the St. Louis Cardinals, who will meet the Washington Redskins tomorrow night at the nation's capital. We'll be there for that one also. A couple of nights of NFC Eastern Division action. Robert Levette was deep for the Cowboys. Williams was back there. Atkinson puts it to the 7-yard line. This is Levette, a rookie from Georgia Tech, and he works out over the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at some of the action around the league today. The New York Jets, also co-tenants here with the Giants at Giant Stadium. They were winners over Cincinnati. Yay! Indianapolis over Buffalo. Indianapolis exploding against Buffalo. Boo! And it was Green Bay. They finally got it together against Detroit. Chicago, they had trouble against Tampa Bay earlier, but they got it back together, and they remain undefeated. Giants now Cowboys rather, first and 10. The ball near the 26-yard line. And we'll have more scores for you in just a moment. Dorsett, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage in the arms of Carl Banks and struggles for about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. New Orleans. Don Phillips got another birthday present down there. Saints over Philadelphia. Cleveland defeated New England to move out on top of the Central Division of the AFC. Rennie Kosar had to replace Danielson in that game. He came through with a victory. Miami over Pittsburgh. Don Shula's 246th career win. He's tied with Tom Landry as the second winningest coach in the history of the NFL, and it was the 49ers blowing away Atlanta. They marked it out to about the 27, so it'll be 2nd down and 8. Danny White, good timing pattern to Jones, and Jones hit immediately at the 32-yard line, short of the first down by about 3. It'll be 3rd and 3. And let's take a look at the rest of the action. Denver, John Elway. 12 touchdown passes thus far this year for John Elway. He's getting it together rather rapidly. The Raiders take Kansas City. They split their series. Kansas City having won earlier. And the Rams, behind Eric Dickerson, who had a tough time against Minnesota. Nevertheless, the Rams prevailed. They remain undefeated over Minnesota. And it was Seattle over San Diego. 3rd down, long 3 from the shotgun, Danny White. The big tight end goes up, and it's Cosby. He comes down with it at the 41 with a Dallas Cowboy first down. And Cosby has really taken up the slack with the loss of Drew Pearson last year, who could not play a year ago. Cosby came on with 60 receptions a year ago to set a Cowboy tight end record. And if you project his pace coming into tonight, he's had 23 receptions. He would have something like 90 receptions on the year. They really go to him in the pressure situation, the situations where they used to go to Drew Pearson. At the 41-yard line, 1st and 10, the Cowboys. Dorsett. And the Giants defense stretched it out. Tony was looking, trying to find an opening, and Carl Banks nailed him.
If I was Tony, Tony told us at halftime last week that the best way to run on this Giant team is to run at Lawrence Taylor. Now, they've run the ball about 7 times already. They haven't run one ball at Taylor. If I was Tony, I'd tell Tom Landry, did you hear me at halftime last week?
And he could also point out that Carl Banks has thus far been eating his lunch here this evening. All right, it's 2nd down and 11. They marked the loss inside the Cowboys' 40-yard line. Giants do not go with the blitz. Pressure on Danny White, and he tries to go with the screen. I believe that the Cowboys were anticipating the blitz. They didn't get it. Giant linebackers were right there with Dorsett, and Danny White just really had to put it into the turf. 3rd down, long yardage. That
was really good defense by the Giants that time. You know, a couple of minutes ago, though, we were talking about Doug Cosby. What really impresses me about Doug is his capabilities and ability to get off the line of scrimmage. These teams' defenses know they must stop him, but yet he avoids the bump at the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 11. Tony Hill up at the top of your screen. Carl Poe split to the left along with Mike Renfro. Now the blitz comes. They all come. And Danny White had to hurry a pass attempt to Tony Hill. Good coverage in the secondary. Ted Watts, the former Oakland Raider, recently acquired, was right with Tony Hill, but it was the pressure on Danny White that forced him to release it before he wanted to release it. Very sophisticated Giants crowd. Most of them have had their season tickets for decades. They are a hot item around the New York area, and they applaud the defensive unit of the Giants. You had a quick look at Bill McConkey as Mike Saxon, the second best kicker in the NFC. Behind the Giants, Sean Landeta is on to punt for Dallas. Saxon puts it high, it doesn't turn over, and McConkey settles in at the 24. And is buried at the 24. So the Giants trailing 7-3 with 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. Drop their offensive unit back out onto the field, and we'll be back with more action in just a moment. Jay Simpson and Joe Namath were in the first quarter, 4:45 remaining, and the Dallas Cowboys over the Giants 7-3. They took a Joe Morris fumble in from 44 yards out. 18-yard touchdown pass. Danny White to Tony Hill. The Giants got a 23-yard field goal for their 3 points from Jess Atkinson. First and 10, the Giants. Bill Sims, down he goes. He's sacked back inside the 20-yard line. Ed Jones was there first. Too tall, getting there.
Now, this is what I was saying in the opening. This is when the Giants will have to get conservative. This is where the Dallas defense is at its most dangerous. And I think if I was the Giants, I'd run the ball or throw a very safe, short pass now.
You know, I could just see Warren Moon down in Houston sitting back watching tonight, nodding total approval, O.J. They got to him 12 times last week, tying an NFL record for an NFL defense in sacks. That was a loss of 5. It's 2nd and 15, and conservative it is. Joe Morris. And he breaks the tackle and stays on his feet to the 30-yard line. Good running by the former Syracuse All-American. Jeff Rohr made the stop, but that was an 11-yard pickup. And this little man, who stands 5'7" and 195 pounds as we look at him, bettered all the marks of Jimmy Brown, Larry Zonk, and Floyd Little at Syracuse. And this is why. He's strong. He's powerful. He does wear down a little bit later in the game, but when he is fresh, he is dynamite. He gets a bunch of it back. It's 3rd down and 3. The ball out over the 30-yard line. Galbraith is in there. Good receiver out of the backfield. He's in there with Adams. But the ball goes to Johnson, and he'll have first down yardage after the 40-yard line in the arms of Ron Fellows, who pursued him all the way from the left cornerback position.
Well, it looks like Dallas is trying to cross up the Giants, but it's not working. Dallas normally would blitz in that situation. They have been during this early part of the season, but that time they just used a 4-man rush and played his own defense. Bill read it nicely.
3:15 remaining in the first quarter. Both teams 3-1. The St. Louis Cardinals are 3-1. They'll be in Washington tomorrow night with the Redskins, who are 1-3 and in desperate trouble. And we'll be there also. Sims on first down. Wide open. And he fires the completion, gets it downfield. Once again, he gets the ball to Bobby Johnson, and Johnson will have yet another first down on a 14-yard pickup.
The offensive coaches from the Giants are doing an excellent job. They got this Cowboy defense figured out.
And what we just saw there was Phil Simms rolling a little bit to his right. He'll do that to try and get away from the backside pressure of the blitzes. That last time Mike Hegman came with the blitz to his side, but he was still able to complete the pass.
Aaron Williams, number 87, in a wide receiver. Top of your screen. Handoff is to Morris. And Morris surges forward to the 43-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
You know, Frank, I heard you mention this sophisticated crowd here at Giant Stadium. Well, I can remember a few years ago when the Jets and the Giants used to play football games, and I'll tell you, they were anything but sophisticated when we played against them.
Sophistication in the eyes of the beholder, Joe. They've also been known to hire airplanes and circle the field, threatening to dive bomb it when they were unhappy with various coaches. And for the 2nd and 7. Sims has a great shot to Bavaro. The rookie from Notre Dame does not hold on. He hit him right on the hands, held it a long time, and paid for it. I want to remind you live at 3 o'clock Eastern from State College, Pennsylvania, Saturday on CFA College Football. Unbeaten National Powers get it together with 7th-ranked. The Nittany Lions of Penn State take on 8th-ranked Alabama. Coverage begins live at 3:30 Eastern with College Football Today, Saturday here on ABC. And you're going to watch a couple of real powerhouses. Unbeaten Penn State, unbeaten Alabama. 3rd down, 7 from the shotgun. Sims looks it over and changes it off. A little rolling pocket for Sims. And Sims held it as long as he could until Bates was right in his face. He tried to get it deep to Manuel. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And this is where they miss an Ali Haji Sheikh because they genuinely could try a field goal. Ali Haji Sheikh has made field goal from 56 yards. But they have to bring the punter in, Sean Landetta, who is leading the National Football Conference. Acquired from the Stars of the USFL after a great 2-year career there. Replacing a very popular Dave Jennings, who is now kicking for the Jets. It's like a soap opera, the punting story with the Giants. You had a look at Gonzalez, the rookie from Bethune-Cookman, who settled for a fair catch near the 17-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys. 2:11 remaining here in the first quarter. The Giants and the Cowboys getting it on as they have for nearly a quarter of a century in a bitter rivalry. The Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 50s, there was none as good as Stoutner. He used to eat the offensive tackle alive practically. He's done a fine job with the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 1st down and 10, the ball near their 17-yard line. They lead the Giants 7-3, 2:11 remaining in the first quarter. Tony Dorsett, single setback. That's Jones on the move. Danny White gets it to Renfro. Renfro steps out of bounds a yard short of the 1st down. They'll mark it up to about the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1. These two teams, as I mentioned, tied for first place in the NFC Eastern Division tomorrow night. Neil Lomax, Roy Green, O.J. Anderson going against the Washington Redskins. The Cardinals are 3-1. The Redskins 1-3. And if they blow that one, they are in deep trouble, and they know that. Kind of mystifying what's happened to the Redskins. We'll talk about it a little later on at halftime. 2nd and 1, breaking it off to the outside is Dorsett. Trying to get to that 1st down marker. Elvis Patterson was up there. And they will mark it for 1st down yardage for Dorsett, I do believe. The sticks are across the field, so we may well have a measurement. Nope, they will give him the 1st down.
You know, he may have gotten the first, or he did get the 1st down that time, but earlier in the day we met with Coach Parcells, and the Giants are doing exactly what they'd like to do with Dorsett. Make him run east and west rather than north and south. They're forcing him outside, but he's not gaining a lot of yardage outside.
We watched him all night. In this first quarter, at least. Hunting, pecking, not getting that first cut. Great linebacking by these Giants. They pursue along that line of scrimmage. They're like a bunch of predators, and then they prowl, and finally they pounce. 1st and 10. White, wide open, downfield, and White puts it in. Fine pass, finding Tony Hill. He'll have the 1st down out close to the 44-yard line on an 18-yard pickup. Good pass protection, plenty of time for White. Hill ran the perfect pattern. Put the drive on the deep man. Turned it inside, and Danny White was right there. Former quarterback, Joe. He was in high school. Tony Hill. Long Beach Poly, California, many years ago.
I think all the good athletes played quarterback at one time or another.
I thought you might bring that up. On 1st and 10. Cornwall, the tight end, in motion, and this is Dorsett. They swing it out again, but this time Dorsett gets around the corner. They'll hold him to about 5 yards on that. Kenny Hill, recently activated, is up there for the stop. Kenny Hill has missed the first 4 games with a sore ankle, sprained ankle. There he is, a Yaley who has a degree in molecular biophysics. Has a little tough time with the zone defense, however, Bill Parcells.
Yeah, you know, I was wondering how good they're going to perform tonight. Kenny hasn't been playing, and now Terry Kennard, who's a normal free safety, is back at his normal position, but they haven't been working together up until this week.
2nd down and 5. The ball is near the 49-yard line of the Cowboys. Play action by Danny. That is Renfro, and he was wide open in front of Elvis Patterson. That time, Patterson probably in some kind of a trade-off zone. But it was his man, and Patterson was laying way off.
Well, that's
Expect
exactly
great
what it
things
was.
from Patterson. Joe, he's coming on. He's a great athlete, but every time you look out there, you, of course, remember the great years that Mark Haynes had there, who, by the way, I mentioned earlier, was in town last week. Meeting between his agent, Howard Slusher, George Young, the general manager of the Giants, were not fruitful. They broke off once again, and Mark Haynes saying that he wanted to be traded. He didn't feel he could play here anymore. Negotiations reportedly got up somewhere around $400,000 or $500,000 a year. That was not enough. So Mark Haynes remains a holdout. It's first down and 10. This is Dorsett. Flag is down as Dorsett shows the power that he has at 185 pounds. He came into the night needing only 117 yards to become the 6th player in the history of this game to make 10,000 yards rushing, as you see the holding indicated against the Cowboys. But O.J., you know what a pounding a running back takes, and he is 185 pounds. Well, tell me about how he does it.
Well, he does it with quickness, obviously, and he's a heads-up smart runner, and for the last 9 years, he's played on one of the better teams.
Holding, offense, number 82. First down.
He played on one of the better teams in football, and the way they run things here in Dallas, he hasn't taken the pounding on 3rd and 1. You know, that's what shortens the life expectancy of the running back, those 3rd and 1s, those short yardage situations, and over the years, Tony hasn't had to carry the burden of that.
First down and 20 now. Final seconds of the first quarter ticking off. They may not get this play off. And they will not. Well, the first quarter ends with the Cowboys leading the Giants 7-3, and we'll be back with second quarter action. The Cowboys have a first down and 20 at the 44 of the Giants. In East Rutherford, New Jersey, we begin the second quarter between the Giants and the Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Giants leading or trailing the Cowboys 7-3. Cowboys have the football at the Giants' 44-yard line, first down and 20. Danny White, 9 of 11, 103 yards, 1 touchdown, an 18-yard shot to Tony Hill. Out of time for Danny White. James Jones. And he moves inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. It'll be second down and 12. Dickerson today, we read off those scores a while ago. We mentioned he struggled a little bit. 25 carries for how many yards, O.J.? 55 yards. That's not a typical Dickerson day against Minnesota.
Well, I
They
figured
did a job on him.
I figured he'd have a couple of tough weeks after, missing training camp. But starting next week, he should start looking like Eric again.
Second down and 12. The ball at the 38-yard line of the Giants. Renfro is split right. Tony Hill, top of your screen. Dorsett moves out into the pattern. Tony Hill held short of the first down near the 27-yard line. Harry Carson roamed out there from his linebacking position. It'll be third down and 3.
That last pass was a choice for Danny White to either go to Hill or Tony Dorsett. They split that zone area. And, of course, Hill was open in between Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor.
And the strategy being, of course, I think you saw a good shot of it on your screen, good coverage of it. Had Tony Hill been covered, they would have got that ball to Tony Dorsett. A couple of pretty powerful weapons. Third and 3 from the shotgun. The Giants showing blitz. They drop out of it. Good shot. Danny White connecting up with Tony Dorsett. He'll have a first down near the 26-yard line. Dorsett, 159 yards rushing last week against Houston. Now they're using him as a pass receiver. That's Lawrence Taylor trying to stay with him. A difficult job for anyone.
And Tony did the exact right thing to do. What you want to do is lean into that linebacker. And when Lawrence pushed him, he actually helped Tony to get to where he wanted to go.
And he got there for the first down. Inside the Giants' 22-yard line. Now John Williams comes in. USF Ballard. Michigan and then Oakland. Williams is hammered right at the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Taylor is there reading it all the way. He might have got a yard out of it. Let's watch Taylor. He just things other people can't do.
Well, he has a free read on that. He's reading that tackle. The minute that tackle blocked down, he didn't see the the running back come out, so he just folded right down the backside of that linebacker, and he was there when the runner got there.
So quick, so fast, so strong. Lawrence Taylor had a remarkable career, now in his 5th year here at the Giants. Less than a yard, so we'll call a 2nd down and 10. Crowd getting into it. Jones pops it up the middle. Or Tony Dorsett, rather, and that's the one you spoke of. O.J., that you said you thought they'd like to break him through the middle. And that time he busts through, gets down to about the 11-yard line. He'll have first down yardage. We're very close to it. Let's take a look at it.
Real nice pop in there, real nice blocking. There was no linebacker in there. Now, Tony surprised me there. You know, Tony, he lives for those one-on-one situations, and Terry Kennard came up there and made a touchdown-saving tackle.
That was a heck of a block by Glenn Titan, sir, the left guard. He pulled in a trap play that time, made a terrific block.
The measurement. First down, Dallas. 12-yard line of the Giants. And this drive started on the 17-yard line, so this could change one of our statistics, an impressive statistics for the #1 defense in the NFL through 4 games, that of the New York Giants. Danny White with the first down. Splits Tony Hill to the left. Now he'll put the other wide receiver, Renfro, in the slot. Top of your screen. Dorsett. And Dorsett gets inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Gain of 3, 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
See, I'll always say this. I've always been against rotating running backs. When you have a great running back, you have to run him. I don't care if he doesn't gain yards in the first half of the game. The more you run him, the better he's going to feel about running, and his statistics will improve. Those aren't impressive, but in the last 3 runs, Tony has gotten he almost broke a couple of them.
Bang, 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 and pretty soon you'll pop one. We saw him pop a moment ago for a first down. You cannot keep the great ones down all the time. Just keep giving it to them. 2nd and 6. That's Dorsett, single setback. They work him again, right side. Tripped up as he tries to get to the outside. It was Carl Banks making the defensive play for the Giants. Dorsett stopped at just about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Carl Banks, great career at Michigan State. Worked his way into the lineup midseason a year ago. And just really plays in the shadow of the other 2 Pro Bowl linebackers for the Giants, Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson, but he is improving seemingly with every game. Well, they have marked it at the 8-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 6. Danny White with a lot of time and gets it into the end zone. Renfro working back in the back of the end zone, sees Danny White in trouble, stepped in front of a Giant defender, touchdown Dallas. Very cool work on the part of Danny White and also Mike Renfro.
Yeah, Renfro gets away from Perry Williams here, but again, these cornerbacks in the National Football League cannot stay with these receivers all night long. Danny White, again, you have to get credit to for buying the time. He moved around, got to the outside, and found Renfro open.
Renfro waving the arm, stepping in from the back of the end zone, presenting a big target. Danny White was there. Stepped in for the conversion. Boone, the backup quarterback, places it down. Septien makes it a 14-3 ball game. Danny White with a pair of touchdown passes. Renfro with the lateral. And he has just caught an 8-yard touchdown pass. Deep for the Giants is Phil McConkey. Septien has it on the tee, and the Cowboys moving the ball almost to will against the Giants. They've been running the ball on the ground, and they have been hitting those short passes. They just moved right down the field to the 17-yard line for that touchdown. McConkey on the goal line. The drag down out close to the 13-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 Giants. I want to remind our viewers on the West Coast, after the football action tonight, America's newest hero, MacGyver, is in action rescuing hostages trapped in Southeast Asia. That's right after the game on the West Coast, MacGyver. And for most of you in the rest of the country, catch the ABC News Weekend Report later tonight. Giants have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 14-yard line. They only have 3 points on the scoreboard. They trail 14-3, the Dallas Cowboys. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Morris, and he is pounded. Jim Jeffcoat, a #1 draft pick out of Arizona State 3 years ago, and he does seem to improve almost with each game, but playing alongside Randy White on the right side, Jeffcoat can do so many things.
I'm just upset because I think what the Giants were doing was the absolute right thing. They were throwing against the flex defense on first down. The flex defense is geared to stop the run, and I guess because their backs are against their goal line, they decided to go against their game plan.
That will get your attention. 2nd and 13. Sims has it batted away. Trying to get the ball downfield to Williams. A ball batted away. I don't know who got the hand on that. This is John Dutton. He was in the area along with Ed Jones. A lot of height over on that side. Ed Jones is 6'9", Dutton is 6'7". 3rd down, long yardage, and Sims will move from the shotgun. The ball inside the Giants, 10 at the 9. Galbraith in the lineup, number 30. We've already talked about him, working out of the backfield as a receiver. McConkey, and he comes down with a Giant first down out over the 35 to the 37. The youngster that we saw, remember O.J. a couple of years ago? He had served his time after graduating from the Navy 4 years. The Navy people watched him during preseason. He had to go back and serve in '83. Came back a year ago and made this team, and he has just made a big first down between the Dallas defense after the 36-yard line.
One of my favorite stories, a kid who was in the Navy, suffered from chronic seasickness, so he would take the helicopter up and circle the aircraft carrier until he got over being sick, and then he'd come back down.
Giants with the first down. Trailing 14-3. Sims wants a big one, trying to get it deep, and in and out of the hands of Manuel. I don't know whether he would have been in bounds. They were trying to beat Everson Walls. Everson Walls does not have great speed, but he has tremendous instincts.
And this was a pretty well thrown pass here. Everson just makes a heck of a play. Now, this is one of the things the Giants are going to try and do occasionally, is get deep, especially when Dallas shows the all-out blitz. The Giants may keep both of their offensive backs in to help pick up the blitz and just send 2 wide receivers down the field.
2nd down and 10. Adams, number 33, the rookie from Kentucky, is in with Maurice Carthen at setback. Sims has the time. Bobby Johnson. And it's the Giants' first down inside Dallas's 30-yard line. Michael Downs chased Bobby Johnson down. 33-yard pickup. Cool play by Sims. He was under a lot of pressure.
He was under a lot of pressure, and he waited just until he opened up. Broke it right underneath the zone defense, and Bobby's on his way. What they did is the other receiver on that side cleared out the zone defense so Bobby could get underneath it without any coverage.
Good receiver for the Giants. They got him as a free agent a year ago because most of the NFL teams thought that after he had graduated from Kansas, he had made a USL commitment. He had not. And the Giants have got a lot of mileage out of him. On 1st and 10, Sims is back. Open is Manuel, and Manuel comes down with the football inside the 15-yard line, working against Everson Walls. And this youngster has really improved. A 7th-round pick a year ago. They didn't even use him much until mid-season, and he wound up with 33 receptions, and coming into tonight, he was the leading receiver in average per catch in the NFC. He perhaps has the best moves of all the Giant receivers. He gets the first down inside the 15-yard line of the Cowboys. Carpenter and Adams are the setbacks. Sims had a man open in the end zone. It was Johnson. He overthrows, and he knows he has overthrown it.
Oh, he had him open. The entire offense, well, all of the receivers anyway, flooded the right side of the football field, and that cleared all the defenders out of the way except for Ron Fellows, and actually Phil just missed him. I was just getting ready to say that Phil Sims is having a good game tonight so far statistically. People are saying, well, he's only completing 40-some% of his passes coming into this game. Well, again, they're without Moab. They're without Ernest Gray, and they do like to throw the ball downfield. They don't throw many of the dump-off stuff, or much of the dump-off stuff.
Williams is in. Wide receiver splits to the left. Manuel, top of your screen. The Cowboys are showing blitz, and they come with it. Sims does not have a chance, and down he goes. And this is what the Cowboys did last week to the Houston Oilers. Moon. That was Michael Downs on the blitz. Hagman was coming. Rohr was coming. And the Giants just had not enough people deployed to pick it up.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Sims read it. In fact, I'm sure Sims read it, but Lionel Manuel didn't read it. Phil tried to get the ball out to the right side. See, that's what the Cowboys do. They make the receivers and the quarterback sight adjust their pattern, and when they have a second and 10 or 12, they'll let them complete the 8-yarder, but they'll tackle them on the spot. They're forcing the receivers to read the blitz as well as the quarterback, and the receivers foul up now and then.
Third down, 16. This drive began at the Giants' 14-yard line. And Phil Sims looks at that defense of the Cowboys. They have 3 down linemen. He didn't like what he saw. He used the Giants' timeout. We'll be back in a moment. The second quarter, we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WPVI-TV Philadelphia, serving New Jersey and Delaware.
Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson watching the Dallas Cowboys, and the Giants get it on as they have been doing for a quarter of a century. Cowboys with a couple of touchdown passes. Danny White to Tony Hill and to Renfro lead the Giants 14-3. Giants looking over third down, 16. Sims tried to get it into the end zone, intended for Byron Williams. Good coverage right in front of Byron Williams. Jesse Atkinson will now come on. And we'll see a Giants field goal attempt. That drive began at the Giants' 14-yard line, and they just snapped off big play after big play, and all of a sudden, they come with the blitz. They get to Phil Sims. He was unable to get the ball to Manuel. And now the field goal kicker is on.
We'll see how much they missed. Haji Sheik.
37-yard attempt. Youngster from Maryland did hit a 49-yarder last week, but he scared him when he missed from 23 yards out, and now he hits from 37. So all the Giants can negotiate is another three-pointer, and they trail the Cowboys 14-6. We'll be back. For the Cowboys, awaiting the kickoff, Robert Lafette, a rookie from Georgia Tech who had a great career at Georgia Tech. Also back there is John Williams, USFLer from Michigan, later open, has played in the USFL championship game this past summer right here at Giants Stadium. Atkinson will kick off. The Giants trailing 14-6. High kick that will carry inside the 5 to Robert Lafette. Flags go down as Lafette works it out to the 34-yard line, but flags aren't down. Well, they sorted out just a couple of congratulations to a couple of very special people in the world of sports. Phil Niekro won his 300th today, the oldest pitcher ever at the age of 46 to get a shutout. And to Eddie Robinson, one of our special friends down at Grambling, he won 324. I guess it was yesterday. Congratulations to them.
Illegal use of the hands, number 59 on the returning team. First down.
And Eddie Robinson becomes the winningest college coach in the history of the game, replacing, I know, one of your dear friends, the late Bear Bryant, Joe.
Yep. You know, I saw Coach Robinson on television today, and he said, you know, the record is great. The players did it, of course. But one of the things he's really proud of is being at Grambling for 44 years. He thinks that's pretty remarkable. That having the same wife for 44 years.
Maybe that's why he looks 44 years old. Young-looking man.
First and 10, Dallas. They lead the Giants 14-6. The ball near the 12-yard line. Whistles blow. Something was out on the field, and they now have cleared it up. Our referee tonight is Chuck Heberling. Giants were 9-7 a year ago, as were the Dallas Cowboys, as were the St. Louis Cardinals. In the tie-breaking procedure, the Giants with a couple of wins over the Cowboys went to the playoffs. They beat the Rams and then ultimately lost to the 49ers. And the Cowboys, for the first time in 10 years, did not reach the playoffs. They would like to rectify that this year. 1st and 10 set to go once again. Inside handoff, John Williams. And Williams, they say he likes to hit. You just heard the results of that.
Perry Williams. Well, I tell you, Perry, if you're going to be one-on-one with that man, you better start yelling for help. It was a good tackle, but I think John Williams did the damage on the play.
5'11", 213 pounds. And Tex Schramm was saying earlier today in the conversation we all had with him that he could become a power back for this team.
From the looks of that last play, he is a power back.
He really provided a collision. Just short of the 1st down with John Williams. It'll be 2nd down and a yard. Dorsett, big opening. And Dorsett just explodes out to the 35-yard line. And this is what the Cowboys love to do. They like to pop him in the middle, and he can get yardage so quickly.
Well, that was in the middle, but it was a little bit to the left, to the side of Lawrence Taylor, and that's the first 2 times tonight that they've run to Taylor's side, and they're averaging about 10 yards a run over there. So
Dorsett is hurting as we look at him. And let's look at OJ. He's wearing something on his back, a big pad. He has a fractured transverse process from a couple of weeks ago. And he is in pain right now as we look at that run once again.
Oh, Tom Rafferty just threw a terrific block on Jim Burt. Give Tom Rafferty credit for that hole.
They continue to look at Tony Dorsett. That's what he needs for 10,000 yards to become only the 6th player in the history of this game to do so. He's been so tough, so strong over his 9-year career. And as they continue to look at Dorsett, we'll remind you once again that we'll be flying to the nation's capital immediately after tonight's game. For this meeting, the Cardinals against the Redskins. The Cardinals, of course, 1-3. They are tied with the Giants and the Cowboys into tonight's game. And the Washington Redskins, my, how they have struggled. We saw them against the Cowboys in the first game of the season when they lost to the Cowboys, and they have struggled ever since. They were 1-3. Let's take a look at it once again.
I don't know if this is his back. I think he's sort of stretched out when he goes down, and he could have just fallen on the ball.
It was Kenny Hill right on top of him, and that happens so frequently if you're a ball carrier. You know that when you and whoever tackles you come down together on the ball, it can really smart. It can take the wind right out of you, and we suspect that maybe that is what has happened to Tony Dorsett. We'll try and get a extensive report from the bench, but Tony is out of the game, and Robert Levette, a rookie from Georgia Tech, is in. Levette, the 4th-round draft pick, rushed for over 4,000 yards in a great career at Georgia Tech, so they're giving up quite a deal when they bring Tony Dorsett out, but Levette is also a fine running back. Danny White, and James Jones. And Jones just short of another Cowboy 1st down near the 43-yard line. Here's a youngster that has been around 5 years but has played so little over the past 2 years because of knee problems. He can do a lot of things. He's a good receiver. They got him in the 3rd round in 1980. Literally has played hardly any over the last 2 years because of knee problems. Timmy Newsome, as I mentioned at the top of the telecast, the man who replaced Ron Springs at the fullback position for Dallas, is injured, unable to go tonight. So James Jones has been working in Newsome's spot. Now Newsome is out. Dorsett is out. We have Levette and Jones, the 2 setbacks. 2nd and 2. This is Levette. He'll have a 1st down. He's up close to midfield in the arms of Lawrence Taylor. 5:30 remaining in the 1st half. The Cowboys on top 14-6.
You know, Joe, I don't think I've seen the Cowboys run so many play-action passes. I guess it's because of the heart and soul of this Giant defense is their linebackers, so maybe they're trying to hold them and take advantage of the linebackers.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're holding the linebackers with the play-action fakes. That's the 1st down the last time they got 8 yards because Gary Reasons got caught up reading the fake.
White is completed his last 8 passes. He's 14 of 16. He's got a hot hand, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. On 1st down. Gets it out to Renfro, and the short underneath route does not get the 1st down, but it brings the Cowboys to the Giants 43, where it will be 2nd down and a long 2.
Now, Joe, wouldn't you say in a zone defense, now that's a typical example of a pass that it's difficult for a cornerback to prevent. A linebacker has to get there and get in the way.
He has to get underneath help from the linebacker or the strong safety. I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with whomever's calling these Dallas Cowboys plays.
Tom Landry calls the Dallas Cowboy plays. And he has just sent Tony Dorsett back into the lineup. So as we speculated, it was the wind knocked out of him from falling on the football. A lot of time. And Danny White just finally throws it away. He was looking for Tony Hill deep downfield. Checked it off, overthrowing James Jones. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Oh, Danny's the offensive captain of this team, selected by his teammates, I might add. And Danny's only throwing, look at this, 15 out of 18 passes tonight. He's only throwing 4 interceptions on the whole season, and 3 of those came in one game. So Danny is very smart with where he's putting the ball this season. That's hot, 15 out of 18.
And I think 2 of them were throwaways. At least the last one we know was a throwaway.
Giants have held their opposition's quarterbacks to 48% completions thus far this year, and Danny White is making a rapidly making a myth out of that one. Blitz is on. Danny White gets it off, and Tony Hill is there. Good read by White. Had a Giant right in his face. Tony Hill was reading with him, and winds up with a Cowboy first down inside the 35-yard line. 11-yard pickup. There's some hammering going on tonight. These two teams really do not care a whole lot about each other. Dexter Clinkscale made some rather interrogating remarks about the Giants this past week. Said the defense can take them where they want to go, the special teams can take them where they want to go, and the offense can keep them from getting there. Said that to a bunch of gathered newsmen. These are things that usually are not said. On 1st and 10, Dorsett. And he hammers to the 31-yard line, gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. I think the feelings up here are just about the feelings that you have when you go to Texas Stadium with the Giants team. It all began so many years ago when the Giants dominated the Cowboys in their early years. The Cowboy franchise began in 60, and the last time the Giants were favored, and they're favored here tonight, was back in 1965 when Don Meredith brought the Cowboys into Giants Stadium, produced a 35-22 victory, I think it was, with 3 touchdown passes. That was the last time the Giants were favored in the series. 2nd and 9. Danny White. Great shot. Gets it to Renfro. Renfro doing a number on Perry Williams. Took him deep on a fly. Williams was turning into a sprint with him, and all of a sudden Renfro is back, and Danny White read it beautifully and got it to him.
Danny read it and got it to him on time. This is a beautiful timing pattern here. These guys practice this thing day in and day out.
And it'll be 1st down once again, Dallas at the 15-yard line. Danny White with a hot hand tonight.
One of the reasons Danny's getting so much time is that when Dorsett is in the game, he's doing a pretty fair job of picking up the blitzing linebacker.
They'll get the 2-minute warning, and Danny White will go over and meet with head coach Tom Landry. We'll be back in just a moment. Danny White doing a number on the Giants defense. He's 17 of 20, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's the Giants defense number 1 in the league through the first 4 games, and leading the league with 23 sacks. They have not been pressuring Danny White, however, tonight. Cowboys with the 1st down near the Giants' 15-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. White. This one will be picked off. Kenny Hill going up. He one-hands it, and Kenny Hill was just activated, brought off the injured reserve list. One-hands a Danny White pass. Danny White says, wow, I'd like to have that back. The Yaley, over the past 4 years, has been with the Raiders. Makes a big play for the Giants. As Kenny Hill gets his first career interception. And Danny White would love to have that one back. Curtis McGriff pressuring Danny White, but he thought he could get it in. And the Giants get the football back at their own 20-yard line. They trail 14-6, 1:53 remaining in the first half. The Giants come out of the shotgun. They have 2 timeouts. Bill Sims spun to the outside, and he spun right into defender Ed Jones, and that's a big one to spin into.
Well, that's a case where the quarterback and Carl Nelson, the right offensive tackle, aren't on the same page. It looked to me like Sims had predetermined that he was going to roll to his right, and Carl Nelson blocked Too Tall Jones to the outside.
Well, it's kind of hard to take Too Tall where you want to take him, and I think Too Tall was outside, and Sims should have read that and gone inside of that block.
At the 9-yard line. Second down and 21, and I would certainly believe that Bill Parcells has given Sims a little leeway, but told him also to be very careful. A very conservative play there as well as should be. That is Galbraith. And Galbraith is taken by Randy White, and flags are down.
Carl Nelson was trying to get even. He blocked his man downfield, and then he went down on him helmet first. What they call spearing.
Chuck Eberling sorting it out. It'll be against the Giants. Extra clink scale up there trying to determine what the call is. 1:19 remaining in the first half. And a reminder at halftime, we're going to be talking with Tex Schramm, the president and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, about a story that broke this week. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 63.
Call is Carl Nelson, but the story we're referring to is a story that broke and spread across the country through the media concerning 5 Dallas Cowboy players with cocaine involvement, allegedly. A bizarre story, if you will, but it did spread across the country, and we're going to get Tex Schramm's feelings on that. We're also going to be having some highlights from today's play, and we'll look forward to tomorrow night's St. Louis-Washington game. Giants all the way back now inside their 5-yard line. They would like to use some time. Yes, but the Cowboys have 3 timeouts. The Giants have 2, and the Cowboys will be using theirs.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to get at, Frank. They have done a good job of conserving their timeouts, so the Giants have a major problem here. Long yardage. The Giants do not want to risk a turnover in this case. They don't want to give up 7 points. They're going to try and run as much off the clock as they can, punt the ball, and hope to play good defense. Seppian, the kicker for Dallas, certainly is not having a hot streak. He's missed 7 out of his last 10.
Well, this one we'll have to have explained. I didn't see a flag. Here's Chuck Eberling.
The unnecessary roughness foul on number 63 was declined. It is now 3rd down.
That goes back to the call a moment ago. They had marked the penalty off, the unnecessary roughness against Carl Nelson, and the Cowboys said that they had misunderstood, so they give it back, and it will now be 3rd down and 20. And we do suspect the Sims will be very careful with this. Trying to get it out where Landeta will have a little bit of kicking room. He goes to George Adams, so Landeta will be kicking from somewhere around the 10-yard line. He has had a big foot on Landeta. Here he is, the USFLer, averaging 46 yards a punt, netting over 38 yards. Had a tremendous championship game with the Stars this past season, averaging 53 yards. 1:14 remaining in the first half. Letting all the time tick down they can. I'll take it right down to the 1-second clock.
Yeah, with the wrong clock,
Frank. The snap with the 1-second clock. But the time was out, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Terrific punt. A terrific punt.
Great punt by Sean Landeta. The Giants, surely unaware, at least Sean Landeta was unaware, they snapped the ball when he moves his fingers. The scoreboard clock was stopped, and he was letting the 30-second clock tick down. He did that beautifully, down to 1. It had absolutely no impact.
He had a couple of little coaching points there. George Adams, who caught that 3rd down pass, ran out of bounds. He went to the sideline, and no one said anything to him. A coach should have taken him to the side and said, you shouldn't go out of bounds in that situation. We want Dallas to call a timeout.
As it is, the Cowboys have their full complement of 3 timeouts. They would have been forced to use one had Adams stayed in bounds. And the Cowboys have the ball at their own 32-yard line. They have a 14-6 lead. They have been dominating offensively here in the first half, and particularly in the second quarter. They scored first after Joe Morris fumbled, an 18-yard touchdown pass from this man, Danny White, to Tony Hill. This is Tony Hill again, and off his fingertips, he was running stride for stride with Ted Watts.
That pass could not have been thrown any better than that.
Watts, running with Tony Hill, of course, was a starter until Mike Haynes came to the Raiders a couple of years ago. There he is, out of Texas Tech, and a former first-round draft pick of the Raiders. Mike Haynes, of course, took over that spot. The Raiders have been working Watts in pre-season at the safety spot, and that's where the Giants have been using him, while Kenny Hill was getting over an ankle injury. Kenny Hill came back tonight. Ted Watts has gone back to the corner. Second down and 10. White steps back into the pocket, fires a shot, complete to Renfro, who's having a big night. Renfro all the way into Giant territory. He'll step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 52 seconds remaining here in the first half, and first down Dallas. Ali Haji Sheikh. And he has a pulled hamstring. He's on injured reserve. Pulled that hamstring up in the Green Bay game a couple of weeks ago. And he has really impacted on the Giants' offense. As I mentioned earlier, anytime you get within 60 yards, Ali Haji Sheikh is a threat. Cowboys, first and 10, near the Giants' 45-yard line. That's the time remaining in the first half. Full blitz. Danny White reads it beautifully. Tony Hill does likewise. First down, Cowboys, near the 33-yard line of the Giants. Hurry up offense for the Cowboys.
Well, they have 3 left. I don't know why they don't use one.
The shotgun. Yes. Coming down with the football is Dorsett, who has worked well out of the backfield tonight as a receiver. He has another Cowboy first down, stopping the clock with 28 seconds.
Now, we don't think of Tony Dorsett as being a receiver. Normally, it'll take him out of the game, but he has about 300 receptions in his career at Dallas. Does an excellent job of grabbing that ball.
That time he ran away from Byron Hunt. If you were with us a little earlier, he did the same thing to Lawrence Taylor earlier. Hard to work a linebacker on somebody like Tony Dorsett. He moves so quickly. Giants ended tonight, led the league, their opponents averaging only 228 yards a game, and Dallas is already over that. We're still in the first half. White will be sacked back at the 35-yard line. Another big play by the Giants defense. That was Leonard Marshall, who through 4 games led the NFL in sacks. That's his 8th sack. He is listed officially with 8.5 sacks. And this time the Cowboys will call timeout. They have 2 remaining, 24 seconds remaining in the first half. Big sack for the Giants, Leonard Marshall. The Cowboys back now to the Giants' 33-yard line. They have a second down and 20. And I'm sure on the sidelines, Raphael Septien is beginning to feel the butterflies. He's been around a long time, but nothing has ever happened to him as it did last week when he missed 4 field goals against Houston. There's Septien. I talked to him before tonight's game. Said, I don't know what it was. He's missed 3 in a given game on 2 occasions, but never 4. Second down and 20. Cowboys have the football and the lead over the Giants, 14-6. They have a second down and 20. White under pressure again. This time he gets away from it. And this is almost picked off. Ted Watts had it in his hands. Mike Renfro was knocked out of bounds. He would not have been eligible for that ball in any event. And Ted Watts missed the interception in the end zone. It'll be third down and 20.
The second time today that I thought Danny could have ran the ball. I think if he would have run it on that play, he would have certainly helped Septien as we look at the end of this play.
That is Renfro sprawling there on the sidelines. He was taken out of bounds. He would not have been able to come back.
He made a good defensive play that time.
Third down and 20. Renfro split up to the top of the screen. Tony Hill is split right. Cosby does not hold on. Good play. That was Herb Welch, a rookie from UCLA. Terry Kennard defensively, but Welch colliding with Cosby, and a flag is down, but it appears to be against the Cowboys. This will be an interesting decision. If this is a holding call, that definitely would take them out of Septien's range. And if they decide not to, that would, of course, the down would remain the same, the 3rd down and 30. And the Cowboys would have another opportunity. They can just about take away the field goal if they take the penalty.
It'll be a 50-yarder if he tries it from here.
Well, he has hit from over 50 yards several times. Septien has.
Holding offense number 66. 3rd down.
Holding is against Chris Schultz, who has replaced an injured Phil Podsderick. There he is, Schultz, second-year man from Arizona. I think that's a good call because Septien, nothing was wrong with him a week ago. He is one of the most consistent field goal kickers in all of football and very accurate even from 50 yards. Cowboys use another timeout. They are down to 1. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. And while Danny White and Tom Landry huddle, we'll remind you once again, we'll be in the nation's capital tomorrow night. Washington Redskins will try and get something happening. The St. Louis Cardinals already have. Boy, do they have some offensive talent. And E.J. Jr. having another superb year at middle linebacker. They have a youngster from Mississippi, first-round draft pick out of the linebacker position, Dunn, who has really helped them. They needed was just a little more defense. They are one of the most explosive offensive teams in all of football, these Cardinals. And what can you say about the Redskins? They have been there for 4 years now, and all of a sudden they are struggling. They are 1-3. Nobody seems to have a handle on why.
Well, turnovers, for one thing, Frank, seems to be a problem with Washington. They're a much better football team than that 1-3 record, and we still have a long way to go in this season. Don't count the Redskins out yet.
No, and Joe Gibbs came in. Was it 4 years ago? He lost his first 5 games. And then they made a dramatic turnaround a couple of Super Bowls later. We'll be there tomorrow night. 3rd down and 30. Danny White. Down he goes. Ball is loose. Lawrence Taylor was in on the sack. His 4th of the season. There's still 6 seconds on the scoreboard clock.
Well, I don't know why the Giants would want to call timeout here. If I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would go back. I'd throw the long bomb, send 5 people downfield. By the time the 6 seconds are used up, the half is over. They have a chance to get an interference call, and they have a chance to get a touchdown.
Excellent.
Don't punt the football now.
Excellent point. You get a defensive foul. A half cannot end on a defensive foul. If a pass interference would be called down in Giant territory, the Cowboys could bring out the field goal units.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Giants did call that timeout, and that could be a major mistake.
And Danny White stays in. Naturally he will, and you will see the Danny White buying maybe a couple of seconds of time and then just putting the ball in the air. Time will expire while the ball is in the air. They will be looking for either the reception or the defensive foul. And there he is.
That's the move. I saw Andy Eden, number 54, turn to official right when that last play ended and signal timeout. That's 3 little things that has happened right here before the half. Little coaching points that thus far hasn't hurt the Giants, but could have in a big ball game.
Cowboys have dominated offensively. Nevertheless, the Giants are about to get out of this half. Only 8 points down. 6 seconds remaining. Got the 3 wide receivers, bottom of your screen. They'll just hang it up there high, looking for the defensive foul. They have to be very careful. Time has expired, and it's Patterson coming down with the interception, and that is the end of the first half. Cowboys leading the Giants 14-6. The 2 teams, the Giants and the Cowboys, tied with the Cardinals as the leaders in the NFC East at 3-1 record. We'll be back across the country. And a subsequent story identified the players as Tony Dorsett, Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, Ron Springs, and Danny White. The allegations came from a former FBI agent who has since pleaded guilty to federal charges of bribery, conspiracy, and possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. He picked up what he called information from 2 drug users, dealers in Dallas, charging the Dallas Cowboy players had indeed fixed games for cocaine. The FBI report on the matter was sent to the Bureau's Dallas office early in 1982, but the FBI declined to pursue the investigation on the basis of insubstantial information. It really is kind of a weird story, but nevertheless it has circulated throughout the entire country, and we'd like to think that you would like to hear what Tex Schramm, the president and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, has to say about the matter. We talked with Tex Schramm earlier today. Here is his response.
Well, the unfortunate thing about that type of a story is that it is first accompanied by big headlines and distributed all over the country. And when you use the words point shaving or drugs, that's what's going to be in the headline. And a week later, when everybody just about agrees that the story was totally baseless, then these players whose names were used, that's still in the back of people's minds. And I think that it's totally unfair, and I think Tony Dorsett kind of put it in the proper perspective when he says, I wish something bad would happen in Dallas one time where they didn't try to associate me with it. And I think it was pertinent because Tony Dorsett this very week is preparing to try to become the sixth player in the history of the National Football League to gain 10,000 yards, which is a great accomplishment. And it was totally lost in a fallacious story.